Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description. Okay, so 2510.
Puts a lot of pressure on the blinds. You have to
Yeah,
basically be on pretty much lockdown in the blinds.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm actually on the button in this hand, and
Mhm.
so it's a 10. Everyone folds around. He is 3 players to my right,
Okay.
and it folds to him, and he makes it 50. And he plays a lot of pots. And the guy just to my right, so just to the right
Cut
of the
off.
button, he
Yeah.
calls the 50 cutoff. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, the cutoff.
Yep.
And then I'm on the button, and I look down at 2 black 10s. And so I'm sitting on 4,000. And I just decided to call, and I don't know what you think about
Oh,
that.
I would
First decision
definitely,
is.
I would definitely three bet. Now, I have certainly, it's one of the parts of my game that I've worked on the most in the last, say, 12 to 18 months is pre-flop, and it's not super advanced, but some of the stuff, I don't know if you're a CLP sub, but some of the stuff at our professional level podcast, the coach that I do that podcast with, Conlon Ma, has spent just like hundreds of hours studying, sort of trying to find the best approach to like pre-flop. And one of the things is that, I mean, there's a couple things going on here. Once there's dead money in there, which I mean is that once there's a raise and a call, you want to take your good hands and three bet them for value. I mean, you can choose to three bet sometimes a linear range, which means like your good hands towards like the better hands. Sometimes you can throw in
Right.
some three bet bluffs. The time that I would flat with tens would be like if you're just heads up against one guy. I'll give you an example. Like, say the small blind opened for a raise, which would be extremely strong, right? Because he's in the ultra.
Yeah.
I call him the ultra under the gun, and it got folded to you
Yeah.
on the button. I would flat there with tens. But anytime someone's opening from late position, or there's like a raise and a call. I mean, these hands all become three bets for sure, just for pure value. There's dead money out there.
I mean, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Plus,
I
you have
mean,
the
if I
button too.
had, if I had jacks plus, I was definitely going to three bet, and or ace king, or maybe like ace baby suited or something, to mix to get
Okay.
something besides just. A
Well,
really
like I
strong
said,
hand.
the
But,
idea though
like
is
five,
that
sevens,
one.
eights or nines. I mean,
The idea is that when
go ahead.
somebody calls in between, there's extra dead money. So, you can be three betting your suited broadways, ace queen off. But anyways, so you call. So it's three ways to the
Yeah.
flop.
So
Right?
so it's 3 ways to the flop, and it comes out 10-5-5 with 2 diamonds and 1 heart.
10,
And I have 2 black 10s.
10,
10,
5,
5,
5.
5.
Yep. 2 diamonds
Yeah,
and 1 heart.
two
Okay.
diamonds and
So
1
you
heart.
flop
Yeah.
gin.
Yeah, yeah. So I've got a really strong made hand. I've got this hand is on lockdown. Is what I'm thinking, right?
Pretty much,
And so, yeah, pretty much. So the guy, the main villain,
Mhm.
he bets 90, and the guy in between us folds. And I thought, really, I would just call here with any hand I wanted to continue with.
Mhm.
I don't really see if he has some bullshit hand or a flush draw, I don't want to. I want to blow him off. And this guy likes to barrel, and he likes to put pressure on people, try and get you off the hand.
Sure.
So I was just thinking, I'm just going to let him go nuts and see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at this a couple of different ways. I mean, I think the higher levels that you go, because you played this as a flat call, you probably do want to call a fair amount here. When I get sort of down in the smaller levels, especially even when deep, though, it might be a little bit counterintuitive. I will sometimes build a pot. If I know a guy here, almost always has an overpair, then it won't matter what I have. If I beat one pair, I'll raise. But it sounds to me like that's not necessarily the case here. Like you said, you think that this guy might just barrel. Just because he's c-betting into three people doesn't mean that he has an overpair. So, I mean, that's
means
obviously
nothing.
fine. Yeah, it's obviously fine that you call here. But I just want to bring that up, as a point. So you call.
Yeah, like I said, as this hand sort of progresses, like it turns into a volcano at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering if I should have volcanoed it earlier. So, so now, like, the pot is like 337 roughly, I think.
Yeah.
Roughly. And then the turn is a 2 of hearts, so it's 10-5-5-2.
Okay.
2 hearts and 2 diamonds.
Yep.
And now he makes a bet of 150. And I thought that was kind of a weak amount. Like maybe he's just trying to price himself into getting maybe he's on a draw or something. I mean, if he's on a flush draw, he's drawing dead, right? So I'm just trying. So I was trying to figure out, should I raise big or small or just call again?
Okay, so
Knowing
this
that
is
this guy likes to barrel.
sure, but here's the thing about this though is that I've actually talked about this quite a bit. First of all, you're so deep, you've got to get money in at some point, and a lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to call to raise the river when the bet just doesn't come at the end. And here's, I mean, you can't necessarily answer this question, but I'm going to throw something out at you. Let's say he has jacks or queens, okay? And you call here. Is he going to bet the river all the time? And it's a disaster if he just falls into a check call mode at the end. So people think on the turn they're going to slow play because they're going to raise the river, when in fact a lot of people are just going bet to protect against the draws, and then they fall into check call mode and it does nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so now I know you say the guy might barrel again. I just think at this stack depth, you're gonna have to put in a raise at some point. So I would raise now, probably. You know.
Yeah. I mean, this is like I said, like at all points in this hand, I should have raised, I thought. But it doesn't matter because it's like this guy goes ballistic anyway, so we're going to find out. So he kind of put me in a difficult spot. So he bet 150. I just kind of did an okie dokie call, and there's 677 in the pot.
Okay. Now you are on the button, so you have position.
Yeah. Yeah. So the river is a king of clubs. Okay.
Okay.
And he makes another small bet of 325. So
that's not that small. I mean, that's not that small. I mean,
yeah, it's about half size pot. He's been pretty consistent all the way through.
Yeah, that's not.
He's betting around half pot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm thinking, well, okay. So I just went ahead and raised it to 750.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah. So
wait a minute, Doc. I know. It sounds to me like I know what's coming here. Like, but before we get to what's coming, like, so you went call like min raise?
Yeah, I was trying to induce him to re-raise me because, like I said, this guy, Bart. I mean, he'll drop 5 or 10,000. He just blasts around. I mean, like once every 4 or 5 times he'll win, and when he wins, he'll he's the kind of guy who he'll win maybe 10,000, but it won't make up for the 4 or 5 times that he's lost.
Okay,
you know
so
I mean?
I can follow what you're saying, but I have to tell you, Doc, though, that even the craziest guys, and I've seen some crazy ones at Commerce. I mean, I've talked about my podcast. There's a guy named Obama that I play with, like, unless they are totally clueless. I mean, there's always, like, outlier exceptions. This is not a spot where a guy who has air is going to 3-bet your min raise on the river. You went call, raise. When is somebody going to 3-bet as a bluff on the river here?
Never.
You just look so strong.
Yeah, I mean that. I exactly agree with you because I feel like I should have raised pre-flop first of all.
Yeah.
And then I should have raised on the turn. I mean the flop bet is okay. I could have called that one, but yeah. So I mean,
you made it 750. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, he makes it 1,600. He throws out 3 purple chips and a black chip. And, I'm thinking to myself.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, I mean, I just jammed.
All right, wait a minute, Doc. Wait a minute. I don't think this is a jam here. So he makes it 1,650, right? So
he
you
makes
make
it 1,600,
right,
yeah.
or 1,600.
I made it 750.
750, and he makes it 1,600. So what hand do you think that he's 3-betting the river with? Okay, that's not a bluff, right? That's calling you. Like what hand are you going to get called by? A 5, like ace 5?
Maybe. I'm thinking possibly. Also, I was thinking, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking he could have had like an ace-king suited, either diamonds or hearts, and hit the king, thinks he's good or something.
Yeah, but is he going to 3-bet your raise, though, at the end? Though?
No, I don't think so.
Right,
no,
right.
I mean, it's a very narrow thing. Like maybe he had a 5 and, thinks he's good or something.
He's not. He's not coming back over the top with a 5 either. So this is a spot where you have to raise the river, obviously. I would have gone a lot larger. Now, like I said, you were telling me that you think that raising small was going to induce him, perhaps. Okay, that's fine. But now he 3-bets you. And a lot of times people get into this spot where it's like, all right, well, when he 3-bets you, If he's got a lot of bluffs, or he has pocket kings or somehow like pocket fives, then
Oh, yeah.
shoving makes no sense, right? And I don't see a hand that he three bets the river with really that he's going to call off. So the three bet on the river by definition is polarized, means that he's super strong or he's super weak. And your hand is not good enough to put in the fourth bet against a range that's super strong or super weak because you're either beat or he's bluffing, right?
I understand. Yeah, I
So
get
what
it.
happened?
I mean, he folded and he showed pocket aces. He had two red aces.
He three bet the river with pocket aces?
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, I mean, I can like at certain points during the hand, like I think if I would have raised on the turn, he could have gone nuts at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean, I would have
mean,
got. I mean, you ended up. I mean, first of all, he should almost. You sort of got lucky that he kind of made a bonehead play, right? Personally, Doc, I'm shocked because if a player is going to three bet the river there with aces, it's a very bad play, and that type of player usually is not capable of raise folding. So if you actually told me that like this guy had aces here or that he was going to do this with aces, like I wouldn't have thought that he was going to fold. But I mean, it shows you it's such a bizarre play. But once you get into multi-bet scenarios on the river, yeah, they become very polarized. And again, lesson learned. I think that you need to start building up, on the flop earlier. But anyways, thanks for the call.
yeah.
Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.